A Toronto police officer is one of two people killed in separate but connected shootings near Toronto on Monday. The veteran officer, Constable Andrew Hong, was killed in Mississauga, Ontario. Another person was wounded in that shooting. Three more people shot, one fatally, not long afterwards in nearby Milton. The suspect was tracked to a cemetery in Hamilton where he died after an interaction with police. Megan Fitzpatrick has been tracking this story, and she joins us now from Toronto Police Headquarters. Good morning, Megan. Let's talk about this complicated story. Walk us through what happened.
Well, John, it started unfolding yesterday afternoon around 2 p.m. in Mississauga in basically a shopping plaza. This first shooting scene was at a Tim Hortons, and that is where Officer Hong was killed, and another person was shot as well. Toronto police saying Officer Hong, while he's a Toronto police officer, he was in Mississauga on part of a training exercise with other police officers from Peel Region and York Region. The officers, John, were on their lunch break when this unfolded. Police are describing this as an ambush, as an unprovoked shooting, an unprovoked attack on the officer, and that he was shot at close range, and the suspect then fled in a black Jeep. So that's what unfolded at that first shooting scene. Less than an hour later, police in the town of Milton got reports of a shooting there and reports that 3 people were shot. One person was pronounced dead on scene, 2 others shot as well. Those other 3 shooting victims, very serious injuries, John. Again, the suspect fled, and around 4:25, Peel Region Police put out an emergency alert that people got on their phones advising them of an active shooter situation and providing a description of the suspect. Around that time in Hamilton, Ontario, police did encounter an individual in a cemetery. They believe it was the suspect connected to the 2 shooting scenes in Mississauga and Milton. Shots were fired, and the individual was killed there. And that is why the Special Investigations Unit, which is called in when there are police-involved shootings, they are investigating the scene in Hamilton at that cemetery, and they are expected to be continuing that investigation on scene today as well. We did get a police news conference around 8 p.m. last night. That is when Toronto Police confirmed the name of the officer who was killed, Constable Andrew Hong.
Megan, what more can you tell us about Officer Hong and the other victims?
Police saying that Constable Andrew Hong was 48 years old. He had been with the Toronto Police Service for 22 years, John. He worked with the Traffic Services Unit. And Constable Hong was married and had 2 children and is also survived by his parents. Interim Toronto Police Chief James Raymer met with the family yesterday afternoon and delivered the tragic news to them. Here's more of Chief Raymer.
I committed to his family that they will have the full support of the Toronto Police Service every day going forward. This is devastating news for his family and for all members of the Toronto Police Service and our entire policing community. We will lean on each other while we work to support Constable Hong's family and each other in our grief.
And John, we don't have any details on the other shooting victim from Mississauga, other than police saying that that person suffered life-altering injuries. Now, as for the shooting victims in Milton, we have confirmed the name of the man who was pronounced dead there. His name was Shakeel Ashraf, and he was the owner of an auto body shop there. CBC Toronto reporting that the suspect was an employee of that business. And some media reports indicating that Shakeel Ashraf also married and 3 children. And again, we don't have details on the other shooting victims, the other 2 people who were shot there, other than police saying one was in critical condition last night and one in serious condition. So we'll wait today to see if we get any further updates on all of these shooting victims and any more details on what else we can learn about what transpired yesterday.
Megan, thanks for this. Megan Fitzpatrick outside Toronto Police Headquarters.